Back in the garage today, back in the garage. Alright guys, back in the garage today. Yesterday I just put the new skid plate on my 1290 Super Adventure. Today I've got some new parts and I'm pretty excited. So I got a text message a couple days ago from the guys up at Ride on Moto saying, Merry Christmas, we've got something for you. Brand new IMS ADV foot pegs. Check these things out. This is what we're going to put on the bike today. Now the KTMs are known to have some really nice wide foot pegs on them from the factory, but look how big these things are in comparison. These look like floorboards. Let's get them put on. All right, now in taking a look at this, it's pretty much the same setup on every type of bike. We've got a cotter pin right here that we're going to have to pull out. Obviously, you've got the spring load here and the pin that goes through. So we'll get all this stuff taken off and put back on, and shouldn't take too long. Okay, we got the cotter pin out. Obviously the washer fell off there. I don't normally recommend using a hammer on your bike. Every once in a while it's okay. Now if you've never put foot pegs on a bike before, it does get a little tricky. You got to get this spring in here and you're going to compress that, but it needs to stay in place. And then obviously you got to get this pin down through. So let's see if we can get this to work here. Alright, so the camera battery died, but I did get the left side one on, but check out the right side. I've got the cotter pin out, but the pin here is hitting the brake lever. Quick tip, don't even bother with this one. You just take this one loose, you can see the spring loader, it'll pull this right out of the way, so now we have clearance to get this pin out. Alright, now I've got this one on too. Now I didn't show it because I was a little afraid that the spring might fly up and hit the camera lens or what have you. The way I like to do it though, I like to get this lined up, and then I use a Phillips head screwdriver because it's a much smaller diameter. Push it up through this way, and then once it's through all the way, then I take the pen and I kind of push the screwdriver back through, and the screwdriver can help you kind of line that spring up. That's going to be your hardest thing, is getting that spring in there. Alright, with the washer and cotter pin reinstalled, only thing you've got left to do is hook this brake back up, and don't forget to do that or it's going to be really, really bad. Alright guys, this is the factory KTM peg. We'll get you some exact measurements on it. It looks like it is exactly 2 inches wide. And we'll measure from the back here, lengthwise. It is 3 1/4 inches long. Alright guys, so this is the IMS foot peg. It is 2.5 inches wide, so it's a 1/2 inch wider than the factory peg, and 5 1/4 inches long, making it 2 inches longer than the factory peg. And as we know, an extra 2 inches never hurts. Alright, the brakes hooked up. Again, just to show the size difference between the two, until there's a big difference, I think it's time to go out and ride and test these things out.
Wow. You can tell just by stepping on these things what a difference they are. Alright guys, so I'm out testing these IMS ADV1 foot pegs that I just installed on my 2016 KTM 1290 Super Adventure. And I can tell you, just from just when you step up on them, I mean, wow, what a nice wide platform they provide. Now, keep in mind, I didn't have anything against the factory pegs. They were just fine by me. And coming off of an FJR and sport bikes, they were much wider. I have taken this thing off-road a little bit. I don't think I've pulled the rubber out of the factory ones. I know I did on that 1190. I think I did on the Ducati I test rode, but I think I've kept them in on this one the whole time. And they were a nice peg, but man, are these IMS pegs awesome. I mean, they look like they kind of look like floorboards, except they've got sharp metal teeth in them. Now, one thing that somewhat concerned me about putting them on is I didn't know if my shifter or brake lever would need adjusted, but just in a few short miles, I can tell you, actually the brake lever is a little bit easier to reach for some reason, and the shifter's in perfect position, so nothing affected negatively there. Alright, I'm not planning to give these pegs a full off-road test, mainly because I don't want to get the bike dirty and I've got other stuff I got to get done today. But I am standing up on them right now, as you can probably tell from my point of view. Easy to shift, easy to brake, and it's a nice wide platform. I mean, it's almost like I'm standing on the ground. And they give me plenty of control over the bike. I think with a pair of adventure boots or like true dirt bike boots, you could probably stand up on these pegs all day without your feet getting tired. Even in my touring boots, a whole lot better than what the factory pegs were, and I didn't have any complaints about those. So obviously, guys, this is just a first impression video. It's not going to be a full review because I've only ridden with them on for a few miles. I may, and especially if you guys are interested, I could do a long-term update and let you know what I think of them after a few thousand miles. I'm not planning on taking them off the bike anytime soon to put the factory ones back on. I'm going to leave them on. My only question is maybe my ground clearance is compromised just a tad while cornering because I think they're a little bit wider. I'll have to look. But aside from that, yeah, I can't really think of anything bad to say about them at the moment. So big thank you to Rado Moto and specifically John Ross for this awesome gift of these IMS foot pegs. I can promise you they will be put to good use, and a lot of use I hope here in 2017 as I'm out riding on the first day of the year, and I hope there's a lot more riding days after this. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I always love reading your comments in the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber, I look forward to you being one, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.